What's up, YouTube? Big Dog here, back again for another edition of Big Dog Movie Reviews. Today, we're going to be reviewing the movie High Life with Robert Pattinson as the main character. I watched it on Amazon the other day. Game recommended to me by a friend, and we kind of had same and different opinions about it in a sense. I'll explain that later. But same format as always. Likes, dislikes. What do you think? She likes it. She likes that idea. So let's get into it. High Life. Likes was Andre Benjamin, aka Andre 3000's character. He was like, the premise of the movie is these, spoilers by the way, spoilers in this review, I'm just making that clear before I say anything too crazy. There's Andre 3000's character. It's like the premise of the movie are these like criminals on a ship in space as like an experiment of sorts. And since they're criminals, they're like a lot. If you saw the movie, you'd agree with me in saying a lot of them are pretty weird. But Andre's character is like definitely the most normal of the bunch, without a doubt. And just the way he acts, the way he talks, he's just the most down-to-earth guy. And I liked that about him because every time he was on screen, it was like pretty relaxing, just like a detox of what's been going on in the rest of the movie. He kind of really mellowed things out, which I really liked. Robert Pattinson's character, not really his character, but him as Robert Pattinson himself, did a really good job as the character. I thought he did a really good job of a guy who's like kind of losing his mind, stuck in space, while still having to raise a child. And also, throughout the film, Robert Pattinson's character provides narration over many scenes, which I also really liked. I think just the tone of voice and the words he chose during this narration was really set the tone and impacted the film in a very positive manner. They showed the timeline and the length of life and the length of time that mainly Robert Pattinson's character was on the ship. They did this, like, it made it very clear that he lived a lot longer than he was supposed to. All these criminals go out on the ship for an experiment, and very early in the film they make it a point to make sure the viewer knows that they're not coming back. And throughout the film, like, you can tell, like, by the interior of the spaceship and just like you can tell they make it very clear that he lived a lot longer than what they were supposed to, and I really liked how they did that. And one way they showed this, like I said, was through the interior of the ship and through the age of his daughter. It starts out with her being a baby and him taking care of her, and then this movie is one of my least favorite things of all time, I will say that, and it showed it in a non-linear fashion. I hate movies that do that so much. I hate that about like movies. That was one of the big reasons I didn't like Pulp Fiction that much. But it showed it in non-linear fashion, and then they went from like most of the scenes of the girl being a baby, and then it joined into like most of the, like, in terms of time, the earliest points where they were like first getting into space. They were on the ship. It was many convicts, many criminals, not just Robert. And then at the end of towards the end of the film, they showed most of the scenes were his daughter, Robert's character, Monty's daughter, Jessie, as like a teenager. And that just shows that, like, just how long he was up in that room, up in space for, and it was just a wild, like, it was, like I said, I liked how they showed that he very clearly wasn't supposed to survive that long up there. Yeah. And that's it for the likes. Now on to the dislikes. Like I said, non-linear timeline. That'll never be not a dislike for me, pretty much. Unless it's like, unless I can convince me that it'll work, but that's a hard thing to do. The soundtrack was an odd one because it sort of worked with the film. It was like the songs, the music they chose definitely worked with the scenes, but it was just like kind of physically hard to listen to. It wasn't like songs recorded by recording artists, like, I don't know, many popular movies. It was just like songs that were very obviously made specifically for this film. And it was, like, physically hard to listen to. Like, I was just, like, physically uncomfortable listening to it. That could just be a me thing, but I didn't like it at all. I feel like they could have picked something, they could have rearranged the score in a sense that, or, like, picked different songs that could convey the same message, but not make me want to rip my ears off. Because I was, like, just genuinely, it was just genuinely unpleasant to listen to. It was pretty unclear, again, might be a me thing, but pretty unclear on the plot of the film for a decent portion of it. I like my films to be clear in their purpose, reason, and message. This one was not. Like, it was like, I'm still kind of unclear on what the whole experiment was they were doing up there. I think it was just to see, like, the black hole travel. Sorry, my tray here is a little dirty. I think it might be, I think it was they were trying to see through black hole travel, or just maybe the survivability of people on a space station. Like I said, I'm really unsure, but I don't like that. So, chalk that up in the dislike column. And the ending was very, very poorly done. I actually read a few other reviews on this movie before making this one, and this seems to be a pretty popular opinion about this movie. The ending was pretty poor. Jessie looked way older in the final scene. She looked a little older, so I'm assuming they made it through the black hole, but it's like, but I have a question mark here after made it, because I don't know. It's just very unclear. Very poor ending. They could have just done a way better ending. And then when Jessie is a teenager, it's like, she kind of knows a lot for being a baby who grew up with one person and on a space station. She's got kind of an expansive vocabulary and knows what a lot of things on Earth are. Like, I get that Monty could have taught her some things definitely, but I feel like a lot of, like, the vocabulary she's using and the things she knows might be a stretch for him teaching her, especially since they're stuck aboard a space station. So he'd have, like, he doesn't have the internet. He doesn't have, I guess he's got TV that's got, like, pictures coming into it from Earth, but I mean, the pictures are probably on a loop, especially since they show the same one like 2 or 3 times. So it's very, like, limited. We'd have very limited resources to teach her all this. So it's just, I find him teaching her literally all that was a bit of a stretch. But that's all I got for the likes and the dislikes. So I believe that after all that, High Life gets a 2 out of 10. Very hard to follow in my eyes. I kind of heard a few good things about this movie, and I don't know why. I found it marginally enjoyable, if that, at times. Barely entertaining for most of the movie. I was kind of, like, partway through, I was just like, alright, when's this going to end? Because I was getting kind of bored with it. It's very slow paced, which I don't have a problem with, but if it's such a slow paced movie like this, you have to make things interesting, which they didn't. So yeah, High Life. Don't watch it. I wouldn't. Don't waste your time. But that's all I got. That's a review. It's going in the book, as always. If you like what you saw, let me erase all this. If you like what you saw, subscribe to the channel. I do movie reviews. Most new movies, some a little older, not necessarily in theaters anymore, like High Life, for instance. Watch it on Amazon, so I'm assuming it's not in theaters anymore. Subscribe. I keep the content flowing as often as I can. Give this video a like. Put it in the comment section if you agree, disagree, or with what I said, if you liked it even less than I did, or if you liked it more. I welcome all challengers and trying to prove me wrong. But if you want to get even more involved with the channel, follow the corresponding Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd accounts. I'll put that on the screen, as always, at the end of the video. But that's all I got for today. I'll see you guys on the next movie review. And as always, change the world. See you later.